Take it. Shoot the dog. Give me the gun.
Oh, thank fucking God. I love dogs, and I love dogs in movies. Seeing them up on the silver screen is in a way hilarious because they don't know that they are in a movie. Animal acting, in a strange way, is maybe the purest form of performance. They are acting without acting.
But he's still acting.
Yeah, of course you're acting.
Right. So it could be acting with acting. That could be a title, too. Yeah.
Although, now that I kind of think about it, actually maybe the opposite is true because they aren't doing it like out of any kind of sense of artistic merit. Like dogs, you know, behind the scenes in a movie, like the trainer's just waving a treat or whatever to get them to run this way or do that or this. So actually they're only doing it for the treat or like the validation of their owner. So maybe in a sense, actually, it is the emptiest form of acting, only doing it for a fucking snack or whatever. But either way, it doesn't really matter, but I highly recommend checking out a video called The Art of Dog Acting by Alex Boucher, which covers how dog acting works, the behind the scenes intricacies of it, as well as a little bit of history on dog performers. So I'm not going to retread any of that ground, but rather in this video focus on dogs as characters. Fictional dogs present sort of a writer's dream. You don't have to put in any work to make your character likable if your character is a dog. It just comes, you know, pre-packaged, ready to go. I don't know that I've actually ever met anybody who doesn't
like dogs before.
Yeah, well, there are plenty of us out there, Chet. Okay, trust me, we're just afraid to admit it because we feel like we're going to be judged by people like you.
But anyways, so...
But actually, I'm not done. Chet, are you a vegetarian by any chance?
No.
Oh, so you're a hypocrite. I mean, Chet, if you can eat fried chicken, then I should be able to eat me some fried dog. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to eat a bucket of fried dog at a chicken fight. Yeah.
I mean, actually not really being all that into dogs is totally fine and valid, especially if you're allergic or maybe have had a traumatic experience with a dog when you were younger or something like that. Maybe you're a cat person. I was for a long time, actually. You know, that's totally cool. But people who either like really don't like dogs or just don't like animals at all do make me a little skittish. But again, back to storytelling, what easier way is there to make a character likable than having them be nice to a dog or the opposite? Quickest way to define someone as a villain or an antagonist is just to have them be mean to a dog.
Be still, Cody.
Dogs can also be used just to add depth to characters. For example, in Succession, Tom and Shiv own a dog named Mondale, who we basically only ever see in a cage. The homes, plural, that Mondale inhabits at different points in the series are massive. But while the characters who permeate the show's world gallivant around them, poor Mondale is confined to the background, to his enclosure. What does the way Mondale is treated say about Tom and Shiv? There's this hilarious scene from Silicon Valley where this like Machiavellian billionaire named Gavin uses a bulldog to make a point at a board meeting.
A kindly pet or humanity's cruelest mistake?
All right, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, just like that horrible creature, the entire nucleus program was the result of inbreeding. Is it any wonder the result was just as unspeakable as that thing? Bring it back here. Look at that hideous face.
which, you know, dogs as props, also funny. But for the remainder of this video, we are going to narrow our scope down to dogs as characters. But before I do so, I do need to give a quick spoiler warning for all of the different movies I will be chit-chatting and yapping about, barking about, from this point on. I have time-stamped when we will be discussing what, plus there is a full list in the description of all media included in this video, which does include the music, but still, some discussion may spill over, so here is a general spoiler warning.
If only I had a puppy, I'd call myself oh so lucky, just to have some company, share a cup of tea with me. I'd take my puppy everywhere, la 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 la, I wouldn't care, just to say around the world with signs that said no dogs allowed. Oh we, I know you never like me. Oh we, I know you never like me. If only I had a friend to stick with me until the end. We'd sail.
For the audio listeners, I will be spoiling I Am Legend Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, White Dog, Cujo, Up, Green Room, Fallout, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And thank you to everyone who responded to my most recent community post with video suggestions, as well as Hazel Heart X for this video idea in particular. Make sure to keep an eye out for the upcoming community posts.
Yeah, looks like his eye is falling out.
Oh, is it? Well, it just bulges?
Yeah, bulges out a little
Yeah,
bit.
what you do is you just pop it back in with your knuckle. I'll show you how to do it.
No,
Yeah, it's really easy.
I'm never going to do that.
What makes a good dog character? My opinion is thus. A good dog character shan't just be a dog. They've got to have a little bit of personality to them, or to clarify, they shouldn't be just a basic dog. Like I mentioned earlier, dog characters are immediately inherently likable, good little guys, but their development should not just stop there. If you're a writer, you got to give your dog character a little bit more, or else it's just lazy writing. And all dogs do have personalities to them. Pancake is my best friend. I spent a ton of time with her, so I know all about her. I know that she dislikes people coughing and plastic bags, and she likes apples, and when I make that noise that like rappers do sometimes where you roll your R's, you know, brah! Yeah, she loves that. And I know that she isn't just this thing governed by her basic instinctual desires such as eat, sleep, shit, because she does things she doesn't always want to do. She actually is not a big cuddler, but I often cannot sleep without clutching her to my chest like a teddy bear, and she'll deal with it because she loves me. She can tell when I am struggling, she reacts to that, and I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But if you spend a full feature-length film with a dog, when the credits roll, you should know a handful of things about that dog. I know it's not a movie, but I do have to point to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and to Mac's dog, Poppins. Poppins is a fantastic dog character. By Poppins' most recent appearance in season 16, he is canonically like 30 years old and is indestructible. He is a mangy, dirty, unkillable street dog who is sort of loyal because he always comes back, but also he is kind of revealed to be a deadbeat dad of sorts, and he'll eat diapers and pill bottles full of sleeping medication without dying, and that's Poppins. He is a great, distinct, memorable dog character, as is Sam the German Shepherd from the 2007 Francis Lawrence film I Am Legend. Adapted from the 1954 Richard Matheson novel of the same name, loosely adapted, might I add. If you haven't read the novel, go read it. It is an insane read. It is crazy. It goes in directions you would never ever expect. Of the changes that the film made, adding in the dog character of Sam, definitely a good call. I Am Legend follows Robert Newell, who is one of the sole survivors of an apocalyptic zombie vampire outbreak, which has left him the only human in Manhattan. So during the daytime, he has the entire city to himself, but at night he has to hide, fight, and flee for his survival when the monsters come out to play. Luckily, he doesn't have to do this all on his own, as he is accompanied by his dog, Sam, who is a grade A top-tier, S-tier dog character. She and Robert have developed a sort of Wilson Castaway type situation where he just kind of talks at her, which I completely understand, by the way. I talk to Pancake all the time. Even though obviously she can't understand a word I'm saying, she's dumb as bricks, but there is a genuine therapy in talking to your pets. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. I think this film really captures it very well. Sam helps Robert stay sane. She keeps him company. She also ticks off all the usual dog character checklist items as well. She is loyal, smart, brave, all that. And I'm gonna give a quick content warning. If you are sensitive to bad things happening to dogs, maybe use those timestamps and hop on to the next one, because Sam doesn't make it. She dies defending Will Smith. Damn, I almost made it through the whole thing without saying Will Smith. She dies defending Robert when she is infected by the Zampire virus, and he has to put her down, and it is easily, for me, the saddest dog death in a movie ever, no contest. Nothing else comes close for me, which is impressive, because I don't even particularly like this movie all that much, but Sam's end is a moment I find deeply saddening, upsetting, and affecting, which is a testament to just how strong of a dog character she is.
Hot August night and the leaves hanging down in the grass.
I really like Quentin Tarantino's 2019 film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is actually surprising and also not at all surprising. It's the former because I actually don't find old Hollywood to be an interesting setting at all, despite its incredible popularity in cinema. I haven't spent very much time in California, and I just kind of don't relate to the setting or find it as compelling as I'm sure a lot of people do who work in the film industry and are inspired by it. It makes sense, but personally, just not my favorite. But it's also not surprising in the very slightest that I like this movie because I've got some very basic film bro tastes. I like all of Tarantino's films pretty much. There is one that I actually adore above all the rest by a mile and place on a very high pedestal, but that is a video for another day. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is an extremely respectful and loving portrayal of Sharon Tate as far as true crime stuff goes. This is as tasteful as it gets, and I love how much of this movie is dedicated to Sharon just kind of hanging out. And I love the alternate history stuff. I've mentioned it before, but I'm a sucker for alternate history storytelling. Fuck the Manson family, and the rest of this movie is also pretty good too. And of course features one of my all-time favorite movie dogs, Brandy the Pitbull. Brandy is wonderful. She is Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, his dog, and it was narratively important to play the dog card with this character, considering the big thing with him is we are all unsure as to whether he murdered his wife or not, so giving him a relationship with Brandy was important to keep the audience on his side, just from the screenwriting perspective of it, and Brandy is great. She is an extremely well-trained and drilled dog, but like in the scene where Cliff is feeding her, she is clearly struggling to fight the urge to eat her food before him, which is very cute, and I like how they both do eat at the same time. Brandy is just adorable, and I like how she's almost a Chekhov's gun of sorts, as she plays a huge role in the finale where the Manson family shows up and Cliff is confronted by, what's his name, Lex or Rex.
Kachudum Tex!
Tex!
By the way, the dog actors who play Brandy in this scene are great, even if there is a shot where you can clearly see that one of them is male. And also Mikey Madison and her crazed shrieking is also very funny. She's very, very good in this as well. I like how at the end, too, Brandy does get scared by the gunshot and goes to hide with Francesca. That feels very real to me. I do think if I was attacked by like an assailant of sorts for some reason, Pancake would only be brave up to a point if she was with me. But yeah, I love Brandy the Pitbull. Definitely one of my favorite movie dogs. And I have to mention, I noticed something like, I don't know if anyone else has pointed this out or caught this before. Probably, but I don't think I've ever seen it mentioned. But like all the promotional material for this movie has the title of this film straight up incorrect. Every poster and trailer title drops Once Upon a Time in ... Hollywood, but it's Once Upon a Time ... in Hollywood. So I don't know how or why or where the wires got crossed on that. But speaking of lovable pit bulls in crowd-pleasing feel-good movies, let's talk about Jeremy Saulnier's 2015 film Green Room. Ooh, doggy. Green Room is a mean fucking movie. This film is a vicious son of a bitch, featuring maybe the most absolutely horrifying piece of body horror I have ever seen. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and for those who haven't, no, I will not show it here. The film also boasts an absolutely chilling, ice-cold, against-type Patrick Stewart performance as the cunning and intelligent leader of the white supremacist skinhead gang that our protagonists find themselves at the mercy of. God rest his soul, Anton Yelchin is also outstanding in this film, as are the dogs. Great dog acting in this movie from a mean-looking group of mutts. The dogs in this film are weapons used by the villains. They're almost like slasher movie monsters. I mean, being mauled by a dog is terrifying. They are still animals, and if trained and bred by absolute monsters to be killers, they can be extremely dangerous. And it's a very sad thing for one, but also, again, quite scary if you are on the receiving end of a dog attack. The relationship that the dogs in the film have with their master is also very interesting. It kind of seems a little bit that he does care for them in a way, that there is some genuine affection, but I think a lot of that is just tied to their monetary value. When one of the dogs is killed, the trainer isn't so much upset about losing the dog as he is the investment, I think. This movie has a lot of very interesting things to say about how evil people weaponize intolerance and bigotry for monetary gain. And there's this one dog who is mortally wounded and then injected with some kind of steroid or something to send him out swinging or send him out biting, I should say. And that dog ends up escaping, actually, and we get a couple of shots of him just kind of walking around, and then at the end of the film, after our surviving heroes take out all the baddies, including the dog handler guy, that dog rolls up and sits with his master's body. This little bit is so sad. But I love how now that he is gone, he's just a dog. You know, he poses no threat anymore. He's just a little dog. And by the way, before I forget, Patrick Stewart has done a lot of work with pit bulls and shooting down the stigma that they are inherently dangerous animals. They are absolutely not. They are just a breed that wastes of space, brain-dead morons trained to be dangerous. And if you're considering adopting, don't be afraid to get a pit. It is a great breed. They're great dogs. As are the animated dogs, featured in Brad Bird's 2009 film Up. You know that meme of the guy standing up in the courtroom? Well, here's my moment of that. Everyone talks about how amazing, how great the first 10 minutes of Up are. The rest of the movie is just as good. Up is a masterpiece, start to finish. My favorite Pixar movie, I adore it. It is so good, top to bottom. Super underrated villain, too, by the way. And all the dogs in it are so funny. Out of any media where there are talking dogs, Up is my favorite by a landslide. The film doesn't just make them like weird little humans. It doesn't go too far where they don't even feel like dogs anymore. They do feel authentically dog-like. Very easily distracted for one. And of course, I love Doug. He's a perfect little dog. He's so funny and is a fantastic sidekick character in this film. I love everything about him. He's the best. I rewatched this movie the other day, and the other dogs who function as secondary antagonists are all just misguided, you know? In the end, they end up as friends rather than foes. They're all also great, but there aren't a lot, this just had me thinking, there aren't a lot of fictional dogs who are just like assholes, you know? One of the only few I could drum up in my memory bank is Dogmeat from the Fallout show. The second its owner, who saved it, raised it, dies, Dogmeat moves on immediately. That dog does not grieve for a second. Hey, it's me from Beyond the Edit. I have to interrupt here because I don't know where else to put this, and I just found something that I have to share and that you need to see, okay? I was looking at other dog clips from movies or shows just to make sure like I didn't miss or forget anything that I might want to include, and I found this TV pilot for a show that was not picked up from 1990. The show was going to be called Poochinski, and the full pilot is available on YouTube. I watched it, and I'm gonna show you just the trailer for it, and just thank me later. It is one of the most amazing things I have ever seen. I'm gonna play the trailer right now in its entirety.
Peter Boyle is a tough, ill-mannered cop who is run down in the line of duty. But that's not the end of his story. No, he's reincarnated. Ha! Surprise! Streetwise? As a streetwise bulldog in Poochinski.
What are you gonna do now?
Well, first I'm going to try licking myself, and then I'm going to catch my killer.
The talking dog teams up with his astonished former partner to put the bite on crime. It's touching.
Look at me. I've become a dog. It's all sinking in now.
It's poignant.
But it's life. It's precious life.
It's unforgettable.
You're a dog. I'm a cop. This is ridiculous.
I cried laughing watching that. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. Justice for Poochinski. It should have been picked up. It would have been an amazing show. But anyways, back to the video. Louis Teague's 1983 adaptation of the Stephen King novel of the same name, Cujo, in which a massive Saint Bernard goes rabid after being bit by a bat and traps our protagonist Donna and her son in their car, is a rock-solid horror film. The first third is a little cheesy. It's very melodramatic in spots and also just kind of odd. Like, Donna is cheating on her husband with some guy, and he just pulls out a trombone and starts playing it in bed. And there's also a plot thread involving people eating cereal that turns their poop red. But besides that, the movie's pretty good. It's very well shot. And then Cujo, the star of the show, is a fantastic horror movie monster. He is scary. I mean, he's scary as hell. He's basically a murderous bear. I mean, you do not want to be caught by Cujo. Poor Cujo looks so nasty by the end of the movie too. He is just a perfect horror movie monster. Hey, it's me again from Beyond the Edit. So this is the part of the video where I was going to talk about the 1982 Samuel Fuller film White Dog. I hadn't seen the film in a really long time, but I knew I wanted to talk about it for this video, since as per my recollection, it features probably one of the most fully developed dog characters, excluding talking dogs, of course, but dog characters ever. So I sat down and rewatched the film, and I was so overwhelmed by it that I think it needs its own video. There's a lot to talk about with it that I want to talk about. It's one of those movies where there is something kind of like off the wall or out of pocket happening like every single minute, and it doesn't seem to me like really anyone else on YouTube has covered the film like in its entirety. So I'm gonna do that. I think it deserves it, and it'll be my next video, so keep an eye out for it. And thank y'all so much for watching this one. I had a lot of fun making it, and do let me know down below some of your favorite movie dogs.
You're a dog. I'm a cop.